guess I can pause trolls since my son is finally asleep. My first recap video, I was kind of disappointed by my word count. I was proud in a sense because I had consistently worked on it, not every day, but most days I had done at least a few hundred words. And I realized that I need to do more, or I'm gonna take like 7 years to write this book. But I'm going to be happy with the progress I'm making and push myself to do a little bit more this week. So I posted the video today. So this is starting week 2. I don't know if that was even a full week, or I kind of lost track of time, but I'm going to try to stick with another week. So it's Saturday now, so next Saturday I'll have another video. And I want to at least get to 10,000. I don't think that's unreasonable. It's only like 5,000 and something words. So I think that's completely doable, and if I pass it, I pass it. If not, it's not like I have like a set deadline that I need to finish this by. I probably need to set one for myself because I work better with deadlines, but we'll see what happens. Something cool about being able to look back at the footage of myself writing is that I realize that I do better when I have like a little outline of what I'm going to focus on. When I just go into it blind, then I tend to not write as many words, which totally makes sense, but of course I didn't really pick up on it until I saw the difference. I also noticed that I seem a lot like happier and energized when I finish writing. On days that I write or do something creative, I always feel better. I could see it in the videos, which, you know, just confirmed that I need to be writing more. Okay, so he just fell asleep. I'm hoping he'll be asleep for at least an hour. So I am gonna write for 10 minutes and then check back in. I first need to come up with a couple things that I think I want to focus on, but I will be back. I wrote 343 words. The timer scared me again, but I wasn't filming, so. I'm working on, since you guys know the story premise now, I'm working on the scene where the couple decides that they're going to develop the film themselves. So it's a little bit of character development. I really wanted to show their dynamic and their relationship in this scene. I feel like the main character is very similar to me. Like when I get my mind set on something that I'm going to do something, I can't stop thinking about it. And I have trouble waiting to complete it. Her husband's more of a planner and likes to think step by step and is more practical, so they're actually a good pair because she has the drive and the passion, and he's the one that makes sure it actually gets done and that they have everything they need, and you know what I'm saying. So I worked on that scene. I just wrote one little scene before they went somewhere. So I finished that part. I need to do a little bit of research on developing film before I can start the next part. So I think I'm going to go back and work on the backstory a little bit, which I'm excited about. It's kind of all over the place, but I'm okay with that. I wish I could take a nap right now, but I have dreams. I have goals and I'm going to get them done. I'm gonna do another 10 minutes and see where that puts me. So I'm about to start my next 10 minutes and I realized that I'm missing part of my story. I thought I had more words. Like when I added up all of my words for that last video, I was like, that doesn't seem right, but whatever, I'm just gonna put it, 'cause it's missing. So I remember what I wrote. It just means I'm going to have to rewrite it. I have no clue where it went, but it's part of the backstory. So I am going to have to rewrite that, but hopefully that means I'll get more words in for this 10 minutes because I've already written it. We'll see. I wrote 473 words. I thought it was a little easier because I've already written it. I actually like this version better, which usually I like the edited version. I found that in the book I wrote last also, that I liked going back and fixing things, rethinking some scenes that didn't really have much direction. So now that I knew kind of what I wanted to write, I already had that first go at it, the second go was better. I want to keep going. Everyone else is asleep. My dogs are asleep next to me. So I've written like 800 words so far. I'm gonna keep going because I'm on a roll and I'm really enjoying what I'm writing. I'm feeling good about it today. I think putting together that first video made me excited. I'm really enjoying this. By the end of NaNoWriMo last year, I was just like tired mentally and physically, and I really like this pace because I don't have this overwhelming pressure to get it done in a really short amount of time. And also I feel like I'm not neglecting any part of my life. Like I'm still getting stuff done for school, like grading papers, and I'm still paying a ton of attention to my son and my dogs, and like we went on vacation. We're going to go to the beach again next month. I'm finally finding a balance in life. I really am enjoying this working part-time thing and being able to write and stay at home with my son, and life is just good right now. I can't remember the last time I really said that. And maybe it's the high from writing. Like I said, I always feel so much better after I sit down and write. I think getting started is the hardest part, but after I do it, I feel balanced. I feel like everything is coming together. So I will see you again the next time I film, whenever that will be. Hopefully tomorrow or the next day. Writing day 5. I actually went to Starbucks yesterday and got a lot done. That was like an unofficial writing day since I didn't film any of it. I guess my official writing days will be the days where I film and write and talk about it. That would be easier to keep track of. My go-to writing snack has been frozen grapes and coffee, of course. So I'm gonna do 10 minutes and then I'm going to think of something to talk about. I wrote like 430 words. I didn't know I wrote that much until I counted it, but I did, so that was good. It kind of took a while to get started because I haven't written yet today, waiting for my coffee to kick in. So I've been alternating between writing from Sam's perspective and then the backstory. I really like it because I feel like Sam's perspective, the modern story, the like present day story, is supposed to be linear and it's supposed to be kind of factual, descriptive, and then with the backstory I can be a lot more creative and like metaphorical, and I'm having a lot more fun with that, but it's not very structured. So I feel like the present day storyline gives me that structure I need to make me feel like I'm making progress, and then I'll switch to the backstory and I'll have fun. And that's been working for me so far. So I just wrote the present day storyline. I wrote more about clearing out the house, which I think is a really cool concept. If you've ever seen like an abandoned house or like looked at pictures of abandoned houses, it's really interesting to see what people leave behind. So I've already talked a little bit about holding myself accountable, and I really want to start writing more in a day. And if that means doing more than one session or figuring out how I can write, like effectively write with my son awake, I am gonna make that my priority. It's almost 4 o'clock. We went out and got some coffee and lunch and we went on a walk, and I need to get ready again. I'm gonna do another 10 minutes. What are you doing? So I'll be back after my 10-minute sprint. Stop. That was not successful. I might have written 1,000 words today. Oh. Wait. That's it for today. Should we try again tomorrow? Missing someone. Is as normal. Missing someone. official writing day 6. I have my glasses on. I can't wear my contacts because of my sinuses. So I wanted to start by showing, I picked up a notebook. This was like 60 cents at Target. I'm gonna start keeping track of my word count in here instead of having to try to remember my word count, which has not worked out so well. So as of yesterday, I have 7,395 words. I think the goal I made for myself before I post the next video is 10,000. So that means I have to write about 2,600 words before Friday, which is manageable. I don't know if I've mentioned, but I'm writing exclusively on Scrivener this time. This previous book that I wrote it all on Word and edited it all on Scrivener, which I liked. But for now, since I'm jumping around so much, I'm writing like 2 things at once within the book. Scrivener has really been helpful because I can separate those really easily. And if I get an idea for another chapter, I can just open it up and start typing without having to scroll. So that's been working well. Are you gonna let me write for 20 minutes? I'm gonna quickly sketch out what I'm going to write and then write for 20 minutes. And I will be back to update you with my word count. Excuse me, this is not your show. So it's been longer than 20 minutes, but I probably wrote for a total of 20 minutes in this past hour. I wrote 689 words. I am going to keep writing. Before I do that, I want to talk about, I think I'm going to put this by my bed and start writing down my dreams, because the dream I had last night kind of related to my book. I always have dreams about old houses. Last night was kind of like a castle on the outside, but then the interior was kind of Victorian. I always have dreams about like hidden compartments within houses, secret passageways, houses that are full of history. And in my dream last night, we were actually defending the castle from people who were coming to attack us. There was kind of that feeling like we knew we were gonna lose, but we were gonna go out fighting. It was really scary, but at the same time, it was really interesting because the further up we went in the house, the more we discovered. Like at one point we were in this girl's room, we knew she had died, and it was so strange looking through all of her stuff and seeing a picture of her and like feeling her in that room. But anyway, so that kind of relates to my story in that this house was left abandoned. They're going through all this stuff right now and trying to figure out like, who were these people? What happened here? And so I'm really getting into that now. I'm working on Sam's perspective right now, and they're working on the basement and finding some things that are kind of strange, discovering some different things, and that's like my favorite thing to write. So I'm really enjoying writing this right now. So I'm gonna write a little bit more. Let's see what I get done in 5 minutes. I haven't done a 5-minute sprint yet, so we'll do that. I wrote 167 words, so I've done 856 words so far today. I'm gonna keep writing, but I think I'm going to stop filming. First of all, I have to figure out what is wrong with this light. So this is my little light that I bought. It is not charging. Missing someone. Is as normal. Missing someone. So before I start writing today, I want to talk a little bit about what happened earlier today. So I had to go drop my son off at my in-laws. They're not technically my in-laws, but at their house before I went to work. And I was driving back, and it's a pretty rural area, and I was driving like back into town, and there was this truck with a trailer full of hay. So I guess what happened, I'm still trying to figure out, because I saw it from my mirror, like right beside me in my mirror. It was passing by me, and I looked over and saw him, and then I heard him slam on his brakes. And I looked in my rearview mirror, and I guess someone was trying to turn right in front of him and had stopped, and he didn't see, and he slammed into him, and it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I've been in a couple car accidents. This was different, obviously. I wasn't involved. I was very close to being involved, but I was spared, luckily. It was just so insane, like watching a car crinkle into itself on impact. You know, you can drive by car accidents and you'd see the cars and see the damage that was inflicted, but actually seeing it happen is insane. It really made me grateful and thankful that you know, I'm not dealing with something like that right now. Like, I have time to do what I want to do. I'm not injured. I wasn't just in a car accident. I'm not dealing with all of this. It was so close to being my car. Like, had I been going a little bit slower, the car was in the middle of turning. It looked like he was like starting to go when he got hit. So if I had been a little bit slower, I would have been hit by the car being hit. It just gave me a new appreciation for the day. I can get stressed out and overwhelmed even now when I really like, there was one point in my life where I was teaching full-time and going to grad school and I was so overwhelmed, and I think sometimes I forget those times and I forget to appreciate all the time I have now and all of the opportunities I have right now. So that was a good reminder. I have 1,737 words to write today. That'll put me at 10,000, which was my goal for the week. Okay, so I'm gonna write for 10 minutes just to warm up and then come back and update you on my word count. I wrote 440 words. Before that, I also did a couple pages of notes on the backstory. For the notes, I was just figuring stuff out, just giving names to different people and figuring out dates and ages. So, okay, so I still need like 1,300 words. I think I'm gonna go back to the main timeline. I'm gonna look at my outline really quickly. I'm going to write more about the house, which I'm really excited about. I think I'm just gonna update when I hit 10,000 because I need to make sure I get this done in the next 2 hours, which should be fine. Back to it. So I got to 10,030 words. I wrote the scene where the pictures develop and creep myself out a little bit, but that's okay because that's the point, right? Okay, so I posted the video on Saturday, so it's been like 6 days. I wrote like 5,000 something words, which is pretty good. I'd like to write more next week, but I'll wait till my next video to talk about my goal for that. My tentative goal right now is by the end of August to have finished this draft with at least 65,000 words. My next step needs to be to draw out a map of the house because I had it planned out in my mind and things are sort of changing. So I really want to finalize the layout of this house. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really encourages me to keep going. Thanks again.